Okay, we start a new project with a URP, third person, and melee and range attack. Okay, so we create one project. Okay, so we need to have the input system. We are using the third person template, so we goes to my asset, then we search for third person. This one, import to your project, install and upgrade. Import. Okay, so now we open our scene, we search for the breakout. So this is our scene. Okay, so now we have our input here, starter asset here. Okay, we check our player first lah. So we can input. Okay, we search for our players. Okay, so I'm using this one. Okay, the characters here. Or we can put it here. This. Okay, I'll put it here. Okay, so make sure our model generate change to humanoid. Okay, so now we drag to our scene. We drag to our scene. Okay, and we position is as 0, 0. So we can delete the here. So double click to see our characters here. Okay, so for our player amateur, we change to our characters. So now we can move our characters. Okay, so now we can move our characters. Okay, you can have the okay, so this one, extract the material. Okay, we put it here and we copy, so as it goes. So select the folders, we extract there. Okay, so now we have our material goes, and we can have the skirt and the fabric. So for example, okay, we make the skirt toward it. Okay, so now we wanted to have the melee attack for 6 type. So here we need to open the starter asset here. Okay, and we have an input system. So we double click this one. We need to add the attack 1 to 6 here. So we can have an add button. So we type attack 1. Okay, and then we'll open this and the binding will change to the keyboard, and then by locations of key, so we select the numbers of 1. So we select the number of 1. So we continue with the attack here. Okay, duplicate, 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 and duplicate. So then we look at the binding. So we change to like, okay, the keyboard, and then we change to this one, we change to 2, and this one binding we change to 3. This one we change to 4. This one we change to 5. This one we change to 6. So we save the asset. Okay, now we have the keyboard here, 1, 2, 3. So in this coding, okay, we need to update our code. Okay, so we need to update the code that we have the starter with the header attack input. So we copy this to our starting code here. Okay, so this one, double click, and we'll put it here for our attack. And then, okay, so in this part, okay, we'll add in the functions that we on attack. So it's writing after the if enable input here, you can put it here. Okay, so for the attack. Okay, so now this time done. Okay, we make sure that we put it our starter asset here, our input. Okay, now we wanted to calling, okay, our input here. Okay, so for our coding, for okay, now we wanted to press the button. Okay, this one is starter asset coding. Okay, and then we'll need to have the coding that we wanted to find the characters with the melee and the range. Okay, so we open an script here. So right click, create, we have a scripting. So this is our sample code. We call it as a player attack with new input. So player attack new input. Okay, we can rename it base. Okay, so double click to open this script. Okay, so now we wanted to have this one, okay, with this coding. Okay, so now we started to learn the coding. We'll have the input system, we'll have the animator. So we need to attach our codings to our player amateurs here. Okay, so now we look at the player amateurs here, new input. Okay, because we need the coding with enemy health, so we don't have the enemy yet. Okay, so we need to import one of the enemy. We can go to our characters here. Okay, we just get one of the enemy that we can use. Okay, for example, I use this one as our enemy. So same thing, you can download from the Mixamo. So for the rig here, humanoid, okay, you can click apply, remember. And the material, you can click the textures. Okay, so for this one, you can type the enemy one. Okay, so for the textures, okay, now you can type it as a fix now. Okay, now you can put it your enemies here. Okay, so this one is become your enemy. You can do the rotation, so forward the characters. Okay, now this is your enemy. Okay, okay, so now this is your enemy. We need a coding script, and this coding is called as the enemy health. So we copy the class name first, copy, right click, create scripting, mono behavior, and then this is our enemy coding. Okay, so now we need to copy this coding to this one. Okay, so done for our enemy health. So now drag our enemy health to our enemy here. Okay, so now our player amateur here, okay, it have the few hint here. So the animator prefer which one, so we need to go back to our coding. But I have two coding. So okay, so go back to our coding, we check it. So for this animator draw this one, so is our player. So for our coding for animator here is about the animator that is toward our players. Okay. So the melee cooldown, range cooldown, this is the damage value. Okay, this is example, you can modify yourself. And this we need the hit point. So normally the hit point we can choose the hand here if we have the knife here. Okay, so we can put it for our knife. This one. Okay, we can put it our player amateur. Okay, the hit point will can create a one of the empty object, and we call it as a hit point. So the hit point will be in front of it. Okay, nearby our hand here, attached to our hand here. So this is our hit point. Okay, so now we attach the hit point, okay, toward our this area. So we drag to this one, and the range you can depends on the knife range, so it can be like 1 or 1.5. So make it, oh see, very big, so once will okay. Okay, the range 1. So your enemy layers, okay, if enemy layers means that you need to create a layer for your enemy, you can double click your enemy here. So for the layer, it call in your script, okay, it call it as enemy layers. You can call it as enemy layers. So this one you can have here level 8 whatever. Okay, so now for your enemy, you can change to enemy layers. So yes, change for for all the children. So it's enemy layers here. Okay, so now we continue with the tree. So this part is done. So now we need the enemy layers is enemy layer. So for projectile prefab we don't have. So we need to go to the package managers. Package manager my asset. I'm using the effects. Okay, so you can download from the Unity Asset Store, any of the Unity Asset Store. So get the effects. So I have the effects. This one I'm using this one or this one. Okay, so you can click download. Okay, so import to your Unity. So import. Okay, so now we have our prefabs already for our this one. We continue with our key in. So we have the prefabs already, we add into it. So in here our projector, because we only have 3, so we just click 3. Okay, or you key in the 3 here. Okay, so now we have the okay, we get the prefabs here. So the particle effects, so you can just drag your particle effects here. 1 2 3. Okay, so this is your projectile spawn point. So you can have another spawn point. So start from the head of the characters or whatever. So this one is the spawn point for the particle effects. Okay, so you can put in front a bit of your characters. So spawn from here. Okay, so for your player amateurs, you can spawn from the hand as well. Depends on your project. So you can put it here. So this import is about our starter asset. So we just use the player amateur here. Okay. So now we can test our coding. Okay, test our system. Okay, so now we have the 1 2 3 4. Okay, so I have the 0 attack 1, and when I press the 1, okay, so means that the parameter 1 BD is not exit. Okay, because of in our coding. Okay, range melee 1 attack 0 0. So in this one, okay, we debug the melee attack, okay, and the range attack here. So I try to debug and check the value, is it my input is working or not. So this one is about the range attack, and this one is melee attack. Okay, so now when I press the button, okay, when I press the button, okay, 1, okay, 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, about the index. So 0 meeting 1 2 3. So our attack is 0 1 2 3, and then we can check our melee attack, this one, and our input system. Starter asset So our input system here, we code as a accept 1, 2, 3, the value ID 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so now we testing our coding with the range. Okay, so range is about the okay, range is 4. So now you see we get the errors, means that he say we don't have the rigid body, okay, but we are access the rigid body. So now for our prefabs here, for our magic pack here, so prefabs for our effect here, we need to add the rigid body. So the rigid body, okay, together with this one rigid body, and this one also rigid body. So now we can try again. So for the fourth, so now it's binding to our layers. Okay,